Consumers do not hesitate to buy anything. You know when they hesitate to buy from you? When you give them not one identity trait, personality trait, one behavior to take from you, right? Now, because we see so many people doing so many things, brands believe they can be lazy and not give the consumer a behavior to copy. Model, clothes, look, shoot. No. I'm not going to show you what you could do with my brand on. I'm going to show you what the character that you are becoming with my brand is going to do. This is a big gap with clothing brands. They don't get this. Why? As a brand owner, you have to set up the same awareness for your consumer, but through a character that can be influential. You have to show your consumer basically that they are the main character in your brand world. This is why I'm so against community now. Because if you are telling everyone they are special, then no one is fucking special. This is how brands lose their grip on the consumer. The consumer has to feel like they are the only person that knows about the brand. How do you do that? Their character is most important. Turns out the character is the consumer, right? Do we understand this? And you give the consumer the next steps through each post. They're waiting to be emotionally regulated. If you're a consumer, you are basically nurturing their character. So you should know the scenario and what they need to do when they're feeling sad with your brand on, happy, discouraged, ugly, rich, poor. A lot of people like to think that their brand always has to look put together. Branding to some is simply just font, look, colors. Branding is emotional regulation. Branding is showing the consumer where the fuck they go when they're sad within the brand, happy within the brand. Your brand world is honestly just doors that the consumer needs to open. And as they go through each door or each, staircase, they get to the peak character. So between dropping products and you taking your time to drop these products, how do you keep the consumer's attention? You should always have your consumer's attention at all times in real life and online. How do you keep their attention? Your characters need fucking side quests. You want to go more into what that identity may be doing other than putting clothes on. Maybe you show them how to do their fucking hair. Maybe you show them what to do when they're feeling sad. This is why very boring go get matcha, stand, clothes, walk with friends is very boring for small and medium-sized brands, because when you're a small and medium-sized brand, you're supposed to be adding to their character through behavior. Matcha and walking are definitely behaviors, but it's not the type of behavior that's going to get the consumer to be attached. You want your consumers' behaviors to match the emotional regulation they need. So if your consumer is fear-based, they are scared of not living up to who they need to be, then most of the side quests need to be based on killing that fear. If your consumer loves just aesthetic and looking a certain way, then all of your side quests should be opposite of it, opposite of aesthetic. You need to show that yin and yang in your brand. That's how you get consumers to be attached to who they are becoming. Right now, you haven't dropped in a while, and you've only been posting content that focuses on fashion. I dare you to post content that focuses on a side quest opposite of what your consumer emotional regulation is, right? The consumer's other ideas and thoughts outside of fashion. That's your time to sell the character development. So when the next product comes out, it feels like, oh yeah, this is easy. Of course I'm going to buy this, because you've helped the consumer. They just didn't know you were doing it. That's what we do in brand therapy. I'm breaking down what happens with your brand before and after they find it. What happens when they're having a bad day, but they know your brand gave them some type of serotonin before? What do they do? If you can understand this side of the consumer, it's not very hard to make them do what you want. This is why brand therapy is so important, and many brands need to go through it, right? Brand therapy is understanding your character development. Brand therapy is understanding the side quest. Brand therapy is understanding the personality of your brand, the yin and yang. If you need to figure these things out, which you do, start with brand therapy. I'll see you guys super soon.